Welcome back to Superbly Said Advanced English Vocabulary and Phrases.
And this lesson is drawn right from a SpeakDuo session.
Yeah, so if you want to meet new people from all over the world who are practicing English on video calls, to get more confident with their speaking.
Head to SpeakDuo.com.
Today, we are jumping straight into some pretty high-level phrases.
These are really designed to help advanced learners master that sort of nuanced, high-stakes communication.
Okay, so let's start with a really dramatic one.
I like this one. To make it out.
It just sounds intense, doesn't it? It means to successfully exit or survive or just get away from a really difficult, stressful situation.
Right. And most people, when they think about recovery, they might use a phrase like to pull through.
Yeah, but that comparison kind of misses the urgency, doesn't it?
It really does. The weakness of just saying to pull through is that it's more about the long, slow process of healing.
Like after a big surgery or a financial crisis or something.
Exactly. Whereas to make it out is all about the immediate success of the escape. It's that moment.
So the suggestion is to use to make it out when the focus is on achieving freedom, often really quickly or, narrowly escaping a catastrophe.
Like that lawyer example we talked about. After 2 hours of really intense negotiation, she finally managed to make it out with the signed agreement.
The victory is the exit itself, not what comes after.
Right. Or, on a more personal level, say you're stuck in traffic.
Oh, the worst.
You could say, I was trapped in traffic for 3 hours, but I finally managed to make it out of the city center just before rush hour truly began.
That's a perfect use. Okay, next up, a phrase for competition.
Last to finish is eliminated.
So this is a rule, basically. The person who completes the task after everyone else, they're out of the game. It's usually for timed events.
And people often just use a vaguer phrase like to fall short.
Right, but to fall short is so general. It just means you failed to meet a standard. It could be about quality or competence, anything really.
It's a general failure, but last to finish is eliminated has this dramatic, specific weight to it.
Yeah. The suggestion here is that it highlights your persistence. Even if you knew you were going to fail, you stayed in the race until the absolute end.
It's about being removed for slowness, not necessarily for a lack of skill or incompetence.
Right. So you could use it to show determination. If someone asks you about competition, you could say, I'd rather be last to finish and eliminated than quit halfway.
Because it shows you tried your best.
Exactly. And in a workplace context, this is great for emphasizing timelines.
Like, we had to hustle to meet the development deadline. Anyone who was last to finish and eliminated their portion would delay the whole launch. The consequence is super specific.
Okay, let's move to a phrase I love for its imagery.
To break the yolk.
It's so descriptive. It means you've damaged something really delicate, a central part of a project or a relationship, the core foundation.
You might hear people say to miss the mark, but that just doesn't capture the severity at all.
Not even close. To miss the mark it's a mild error. It's a mistake in accuracy, a typo, a miscalculation, something you can usually fix.
Yeah, but to break the yolk implies catastrophic structural damage. It's deep.
So the suggestion is you save this one for moments where you mean there's been some kind of almost irreversible damage to something really delicate.
Like trust or a team's harmony. It makes the whole thing unstable.
That team example was great. One person taking all the credit for the group's work can easily break the yoke of team harmony.
And that's it. The trust is just gone.
Or think about it from a leadership perspective. The merger was finalized, but revealing the mass layoffs prematurely completely broke the yoke of employee confidence in the new leadership.
Oof, yeah, that's a perfect example. That confidence is the delicate core.
All right, our fourth phrase is incredibly useful, especially in professional settings. To salvage something.
This just means saving something valuable from, damage, loss, or total failure.
A lot of people might think of the word to mend.
Right, but to mend is different. To mend suggests you're repairing something that's already broken. You're fixing it.
Like mending a torn shirt or a broken relationship.
Exactly. But to salvage is about rescuing something that is actively heading for disaster, total ruin.
So the idea is that to salvage is about intervening to rescue valuable things, assets, data, even a presentation from immediate failure.
I've definitely been there. We managed to salvage the client relationship by offering a huge discount after our delivery error almost lost us the contract.
You pulled it back from the brink.
We did.
And it works in low-stakes situations, too. Like, yes, I had to salvage a dish by adding fresh lemon juice when it tasted way too bland.
You saved the meal from the trash can. You salvaged it.
Exactly. Okay, now for a powerful twist on a classic idiom.
To take a mile in someone's shoes?
I like this more than the original. It means to really experience what it's like to be in another person's difficult situation. We're doubling the distance here to emphasize the effort.
The standard alternative is just to sympathize.
But sympathy can be so passive. To sympathize is just a feeling of sorrow for someone. You don't have to understand their reality.
That's the key difference. To take a mile in their shoes demands active, deep, experiential empathy.
So the suggestion is that this phrase is perfect when you need to stress how important it is to understand someone's struggles by, actively trying to immerse yourself in their reality.
It's great advice for work. Before judging your manager's workload, you should try to take a mile in her shoes and see how many deadlines she's juggling.
That's a great point, and it applies to personal relationships, too.
For sure. When I saw how exhausted my friend was, balancing her job and her studies, I tried to take a mile in her shoes before criticizing her for being late.
It changes your perspective completely. Okay, moving on to success.
Quantifiable success. The phrase is to be on the board.
This means to get a visible, measurable record of success. It's often that first crucial score or achievement.
And this gets confused with the general idea of to gain traction.
Yeah, but gaining traction it's usually qualitative, right? It's about vague momentum, building speed, but you can't really count it.
Exactly. But to be on the board is strictly numerical. It's visible.
So the suggestion is you use this phrase when you want to emphasize that first measurable concrete score. That success that officially validates the effort. It takes you from 0 to 1.
And for a team, that's a huge morale boost. Getting an early win helps get the team on the board and validates the project's direction.
Or in sports. After losing the first 3 rounds, the boxer finally landed a solid punch and got a point on the board.
That one visible success can change everything for their confidence.
Totally. Okay, phrase number 7.
Open and shut case.
This describes a matter or a decision that is just simple. It's clear. It's easily decided because the evidence is undeniable.
People might sometimes use a foregone conclusion.
But that's different. A foregone conclusion implies the outcome is inevitable because of external factors, not because of the evidence itself.
Right, whereas an open and shut case describes the simplicity of the process. It's not about inevitability, it's about clarity.
So the suggestion is to use this phrase when you're highlighting how straightforward a decision is because the facts are just so compelling and available.
I use this at work all the time. Approving routine vacation requests is always an open and shut case for me.
The rules are clear, the decision is easy.
Exactly. Or in a technical field. The repair technician found the problem immediately. He said replacing the battery would be an open and shut case. Simple.
Perfect. Okay, our final phrase before we move on to the quiz.
Sore loser.
We all know one. This describes a person who reacts really poorly, complains, acts childishly right after they lose a game or a competition.
And this is more specific than just calling someone a bad sport.
Oh, definitely. A bad sport is broader. It could cover all sorts of negative behavior during the game.
Like cheating or being aggressive.
Right. But a sore loser is all about the behavior after the loss.
That's the key distinction. So a sore loser refers strictly to that childish reaction, the sulking, the blaming, the complaining that just ruins the mood for everyone.
Yeah. If someone asks you about a difficult friend, you could say, if a friend becomes a sore loser, I just stop playing. It ruins the fun.
It really does. And this happens in business too.
For sure. Our team won a proposal, but the competitor's CEO showed he was a sore loser by spreading rumors about our pricing right after.
Wow. Yeah, that's a classic sore loser move. Okay, that covers our 8 phrases.
And their crucial nuances. I think it's time for our nuance application challenge.
This is where we see if you've really grasped the difference between these phrases and their simpler alternatives.
We'll give you a question, and you have to select the option that best reflects the deeper meaning we've discussed. Let's start with to make it out.
Okay, question 1. In a difficult situation, do you focus on finding a complex solution or just trying to make it out quickly?
Option A. I focus only on achieving a satisfactory solution because just surviving does not resolve the long-term problem.
Option B. I focus on the complete elimination of all risks before attempting to successfully exit or survive the current problem.
And option C. I focus on identifying and documenting every single factor that contributed to the stressful situation's start.
Feel free to pause here if you need a moment to think it over.
All right. The answer that best aligns with the specific nuance of to make it out is option A.
That's right. Remember that lawyer example? The goal was the immediate exit, getting out with the signed agreement. The long-term problem could be dealt with later. It's all about the successful escape.
Perfect. Moving on. Question 2. Would you rather be last to finish and eliminated or fail early in a competition?
Option A, I would prefer to fail early and save personal resources for a completely new, more promising opportunity later.
Option B. I would prefer to be the person removed because it proves I tried my absolute best until the challenge's very end.
Option C, I would prefer to exit at the midpoint, which guarantees a proportional division of the remaining time investment.
Take a moment. Think about the spirit of this phrase.
The correct choice, the one that emphasizes the persistence in the phrase last to finish and eliminated, is option B.
Absolutely. The phrase is all about perseverance. You might be eliminated for being too slow, but you weren't taken out for quitting. You stayed in it until the very end.
Exactly. Okay, next. Question 3. In a group project, what is one mistake that can easily break the yoke of the team's harmony?
Option A. One team member taking too much credit for the combined work, thus damaging the central trust or essential core.
Option B. The entire group failing to agree on a final deadline due to scheduling conflicts with an important client.
And option C. The project leader deciding to completely change the entire development platform without consulting the main team.
Pause now if you need some time to think about which action destroys that delicate central element.
The answer is option A. To break the yoke is all about damaging that fragile, essential core. And for a team, that core is trust. One person taking all the credit shatters it.
Completely. All right, next question. Question 4. Have you ever had to salvage a bad meal by adding one simple ingredient?
Option A. Yes, I had to save the dish from total failure by adding fresh lemon juice when the flavor tasted bland.
Option B. No, I find that adding new ingredients only further complicates the cooking process and worsens the taste.
Option C. Yes, I had to completely replace all the ingredients because the initial combination was too technically flawed.
Remember the difference we talked about between general repair and rescuing something from ruin?
The correct choice, which really defines the action of salvaging, is option A.
Yup. It's about rescuing the existing dish from complete failure rather than just starting over. That small intervention is what salvaging is all about.
Let's focus on empathy now. Question 5. When you disagree with a friend, does trying to take a mile in their shoes help you understand their viewpoint?
Option A. No, it only serves to increase the confusion by creating an unnecessary emotional attachment to the conflict.
Option B. Yes, experiencing their difficult situation is the best way to understand why they feel or act the way they do.
Option C. No, it is only effective if the conflict is entirely unrelated to their personal feelings or lived experiences.
Think about the active effort this phrase implies.
The only choice that captures that deep experiential empathy of the phrase to take a mile in their shoes is option B. It's way more than just sympathy. It's about understanding through experience.
All right, time for success metrics. Question 6. Is it important to quickly get a small success on the board to boost team morale?
Option A. No. Focusing on a small, visible record of success distracts the team from the much larger and more complex goals.
Option B. Yes, an early success helps to validate the project's entire direction and immediately boosts the team's morale.
And option C. No. The team's motivation is solely determined by the initial financial investment and the size of the total budget.
Go ahead and pause and consider the impact of visible, countable success.
The answer is option B. Getting something on the board means achieving that first, visible, quantifiable success that validates the whole process and lifts everyone's spirits. It's different from just vague traction.
Exactly. Okay, question 7. What is one task at your job that is always an open and shut case?
Option A. Approval routine vacation requests is a matter that is always simple, very clear, and easily decided by me.
Option B. Tasks that require extensive interdepartmental cooperation and complex, long-term legal deliberation.
Option C. Any task that involves the strategic reallocation of major financial resources across several different budget lines.
Remember, the emphasis here is on simplicity and clarity.
The correct choice has to be option A. An open and shut case is defined by how simple the decision-making is. Routine vacation requests are the perfect example of that.
Right, minimal analysis required. Okay, our final challenge, question 8. If a friend becomes a sore loser, do you keep playing or take a break from the game?
Option A. I continue playing because the person who complains about losing will eventually become bored and stop.
Option B. I stop playing immediately because a childish person who reacts poorly to losing quickly ruins the fun for everyone.
And option C. I would prefer to exit at the midpoint, which guarantees a proportional division of the remaining time investment.
Think about the destructive effect of that specific negative post-game reaction.
The answer is definitely option B. A sore loser is defined by that poor reaction after the loss, which just poisons the atmosphere for everyone else.
And that wraps up our deep dive into these 8 powerful phrases.
We really focused on the crucial differences, like between to make it out and just pulling through.
Or the structural damage of breaking the yoke versus, simply missing the mark.
The key takeaway is always to understand the nuance.
Exactly. Choose these advanced phrases like to salvage or to take a mile in their shoes to convey much more specificity and intensity than their simpler counterparts.
So continue challenging yourself to integrate these into your professional and everyday speaking. And for more sessions just like this, visit SpeakDuo.com.